So hello and welcome yet again to Platform 63. My name is KG and this is the Entrepreneurs Podcast. That's why you're listening, that's why you're watching. What I need you to do though before we get anywhere is subscribe, like, share, comment. Very, very important. This podcast only works if you work with us. So we're here to talk about something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs sometimes take for granted, which is the conversation around being coached as an entrepreneur, right? But also the difference between sort of business coaching and mentorship. And so we thought, yeah, I might not be the best person to speak on this subject. And we went and got somebody who knows exactly what it's all about. She's from Coachfluence and we'll talk about the business. But Neshica joins us today. Thank you for being on Platform 63.
KG, thank you so much for having me.
Let's just talk about you for a little bit.
Okay.
I like that. Maybe tell us a little bit about your professional background and, of course, your just business journey so far.
Okay, great. About me. Gosh, where do I start?
Take your time, girl. Take your time.
So, I actually started, my first career was a teacher, a physical science teacher in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the energy of children, and I loved the transformation that you'd see in them. I completely loved it. And then, I was like 5 years into it and I thought, I wonder if I'd love this for the rest of my life. And I'm still young, I want to try something new. And as nervous and unsettling as that was for me, I decided I'm going to crack this corporate world. And so I decided, I got nothing to lose, I'm just going to send my CV out. And somebody took a chance on me and called me for an interview. And so it was for a training position. In the corporate world, training ERP systems like SAP and JD Edwards. I never used those systems. It was completely, I felt completely out of my depth. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to make this work. And then, I started consulting. I worked in that organization for over 5 years. Started to feel more comfortable. So, and since then I've been in the corporate world for about 15 years. I've worked from training, I changed careers again and cracked business analysis and got into telecoms, and I worked at a leading telecommunications company for over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And, throughout my career, my working career, at school with kids on the people side and as a business analyst from a data and a process perspective and from a system perspective, I've kind of worked with all three of those domains across the board. And I realized that my passion was actually the people side. The people part of that equation, as my science part coming in, was the part that I was most passionate about. Yeah. And I felt like, I'm mid-career now. If I want to make a change and do something about what I'm passionate about, where my purpose lies, I need to do it now or it's going to be too late. And then I thought, I had done a basic course in coaching. Henley Business School was offering a master's program and I always wanted to further my education. And so I did that and I absolutely loved it. It was like, this thing, coaching, that I didn't know so much about at the time, so much me, because I want to work with people. I want to help people and transform them and to help them reach their greatest potential.
I can't help but think that you'd always been a coach in a way, because having been a teacher and then gone into training, you're always engaging with people and just getting the best out of them.
Exactly. And you'd see a little bit more, I think when I expand a bit in coaching, the nuances between it, because teaching is imparting knowledge. Mm-hmm. I tell you, I'm the expert, I tell you what I know. I tell you about chemistry and physics and English, and I tell you what I know. But coaching, why I loved it so much, was that coaching respects that individual across from you. So much so, it respects you as a whole person to have the answers and the solutions to your issues and your problems. And if you respect each individual, that each individual has the capacity to create and innovate, that is something that systems and processes, and I have experience in that, cannot do. It is the power within human beings that is largely untapped, okay, that has the power to create and innovate and change the world. So if you want to ask me why I start Coachfluence, I'm going to I'm going to sound completely ridiculous when I say, I wanted to change the world.
Yeah.
I want to change the world one person at a time.
So that took me aback. But the truth is, most entrepreneurs who are really focused on sort of adding value to the market start from that point. So whether the world is sort of a closed ecosystem or just the wider world, the idea is to really make the world better, however they define it, right? So I love that. But how did you end up then moving from, I suppose, getting your training and then saying, okay, cool, I'm going to go in with Coachfluence? And what was that journey like?
As in like that defining moment.
That defining moment, that catalytic,
yeah,
that Rubicon, if you would.
And that's a great question, because I think for a lot of people, starting their own business is an idea and a dream. And many people have great ideas and great dreams. But if you do not convert that into that intention into action, that's all it ever remains, a fabulous idea. Okay? And so, yeah, I did have this great idea that I was going to make this difference and this is what I wanted to do. And I think the turning point for me was I had my first child, my little daughter, and I thought to myself, you know what, I want to show you that the world has possibilities for women. I want to show you that you can take chances in life. You can take chances and you can be successful at taking chances. Yeah, I'm going to be out there bold and I'm going to say you can be successful at taking chances. And you can build something. And so I think becoming a mother was a turning point for me. So it was that aspect and the fact that I felt like I wanted to do something. I was, the years were ticking along here. I wanted to.
You'd never say that. You'd never say.
You're too kind, KG. You know, I thought if I didn't do it now, for this great reason, to show my daughter that, and as for women and women in society, you know, for young women as well, that there are possibilities and you can go out there and you can take the plunge and you can make a difference. You can do anything. And also, I felt at that time, having my own business would give me some flexibility to also spend time with my daughter and, you know, and nurturing that young soul. So for me, that was that Rubicon that, okay, now I need to turn intention into action.
So every time we have these discussions with entrepreneurs, I look for this moment, and I'm glad we've hit it so early, which is that personal why. Your purpose behind starting your business. It's essentially, from what I'm gathering, a level of freedom so you can spend time with loved ones, but also to show your daughter and other young girls that there are possibilities, and as a woman you can do this thing. So we've got that. Now we look to the market and we say, okay, we're going to launch Coachfluence. When putting that business together, where was the need in the market before we get into what you actually do? And then speaking about the nuances, like you rightfully said, between mentorship versus coaching versus being taught and so forth as well.
Cool. So at the time when I had that Rubicon moment, this was in 2017, and I left my very secure, very comfortable, very well-paying corporate job at a very leading telecommunications provider. I'm saying it that way because I know a lot of people struggle with that. You know, you're leading the security, but yeah.
Well, sorry, I know we digress, but for that, how was that for you? How did you manage that process? Because also you'd be a new mother at that point, right?
Yeah, new mother.
And you have to navigate that maybe with your partner as well and say, listen, I'm going to go do this thing. How was that?
You know, so that was scary. But as a coach, I sometimes use my own techniques on myself, which does help to an extent. And I thought to myself, when I look back at my past experience, I can do this. I've done this before. When I say I've done this before, I took that leap and changed careers when I was a teacher. And when I thought when I was a teacher, all I could ever do was teach, you know? Because this is the qualification I have. This is all I can do. But I took the plunge and said, can I do something else? And I did something else, and I was great at it. And then I took the plunge again, and I said, can I do something else? And I was great at that. And I figured, hey, if I take the plunge again, I'll be great at that.
Based on history.
Exactly.
I've got evidence of wins.
I've got evidence of it. I've tried it, and it's scary, but I'm gonna just put that scary aside just for a moment and focus on the bits that give me courage and take that plunge. it also helps having a support system that supports that. Yeah, my husband is very supportive of me. In some respects, I often think that he has more faith in me than I have in myself.
Which goes a long way, though.
Which does go a long way.
It really does.
And I think as an entrepreneur, it's good to have people around you that build you up. Yeah? And that support structure, it could come from your family, your friends, people that you work with around you, an office environment. I love this space, by the way. You know, that support structure around you, the people around you that build you up. Because even if you feel like, I'm so nervous about taking this step, that confidence that people give you just pushes you a little bit, and then you discover, I could do it, and you keep doing it.
Especially in the hostile environment that is entrepreneurship, irrespective of what the business is.
Yeah.
All right? Because every day you're getting rejections, every day you're dealing with proving yourself, proving the business, proving everything, really. So having that strong base, I imagine, is very important. So, I mean, we're here now and we're talking about coaching and mentorship and et cetera, and that's really the core of your business as a coach. Talk to me about the business, and then let's again start to unpack now what the differences would be and how it applies to an entrepreneur and the importance of having coaching and the distinction between me having a mentor and having an actual coach, and when one should possibly maybe even look at getting a coach in their entrepreneurial journey.
Awesome. So that's a lot.
Yeah, we'll break it down slowly.
I'm going to try to break it down and keep on track with where we want to go with this. Coachfluence as a company, when I started it, originally I was focusing on, I just wanted to do the coaching, yeah? Mm. But when I looked at the market, and entrepreneurs have to do this all the time, you have to look at your market and say, okay, so there's a demand for coaching, but what are the other needs in this marketplace, and can I fulfill those needs? Mm. And so Coachfluence has pivoted, to use a more common phrase these days, to be both a coaching and consulting solutions provider.
Okay.
So there is a place for both, and I'll talk about the differences between each kind of offering, but the business itself focuses on both coaching as well as consulting. And with our consulting, we take a coaching methodology. Uh-huh. So the coaching methodology or the coaching mindset runs throughout the business. Yeah. So let's talk about coaching. So there are many professional services that kind of sit in a domain that's very similar. So there's coaching, there's consulting, there's mentorship, and let's put in teaching there. Yeah.
Sure.
So let's talk about teaching. Teaching, like I said earlier, is a profession or a method that says, I know the facts. I'm going to impart the knowledge to you. So training and teaching is a transfer of knowledge.
Okay.
Okay. I'm transferring facts. I'm transferring knowledge. It does not guarantee that you, the receiver, let's call you the client,
sure,
will actually take that knowledge and translate it into something that's useful for you. Yeah. I know there's some stats around training that I think we only really take in about 20%, if not less, from a training experience if you do not actively act on it pretty much immediately after your training session. So that's what training is. Mentoring is an approach that says, I'm the seasoned expert at this. Maybe expert's not the right word, but I've been through this journey. I've been there, I've done that, I've got the scars and the t-shirt. This was my road to success. This is how I did it. And I can share with you how I did it and the things that made me successful. And there's definitely a place for mentoring as well in an entrepreneurial journey, because you can get inspiration from people who've been there, done it. You hear about their challenges and how they approached their challenges and overcame their challenges. And you can definitely get a whole lot of value from mentorship. However, there are cases where what solution helped your mentor doesn't necessarily apply or work in your situation. So the challenge is not, the solution to the challenge is not immediately replicable.
Sure.
Yeah? You can learn, oh yeah, he used perseverance and it was hardworking, and you can learn the traits, but the actual solution, you, the client, you still have to figure out how do you solve your problem.
Would it be possible for a mentor to use a coaching methodology in their mentorship? Would that be a possibility?
It is a possibility, but then we must be clear in our relationship, in our contracting relationship as mentor and client or coaching client, that what we're doing is not purely mentoring and not what we're doing is not purely coaching. That we're switching between
the roles. Okay.
And actually, that's probably where consulting comes in. Yeah, and the approach that we take to consulting. So a consulting approach is an approach that says, yes, I am the expert. I have experienced best practice. I have experience in other organizations. I can tell you and help show you the best way to do this. I can create methods and situations for you to practice it. I can give you tools and techniques that you can readily use for your specific situation. So a consulting approach is still an expert-driven approach, provides you with tools, techniques, information, and best practice in the market about how to get something done. And that too has its place, especially if you're starting up your own business and you need some structure and you're not experienced with creating structure. So consultants are great at saying, okay, now let's work through your business strategy. Let's take that strategy and translate that into a tactical strategy. And so just to talk a little bit about Coachfluence at this point, that's one of the services from the consulting side that we offer to entrepreneurs. To help entrepreneurs, we offer a one-day, fully immersive experience for entrepreneurs to look at their strategy, to map it out, and to fully experience that journey that they want to go to, and what they want their first 100 days to look like, and how they're going to make it successful. What are specific steps, actions, support points, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we offer that as a consulting service to help founders. We call it the Founders Clinic, to basically map out their strategy and to map out those first 100 days to be successful. So anyway, going back to those differences. And so now let's talk about the coaching component. So coaching is an approach that says we work in a partnership and we're equals in this partnership. That you actually have inside you, whether you believe it or not, all the answers to solve your own unique problem, uniquely as it needs to be for your business. Coaching is a process that then taps into the internal capacity of the client and uncovers hidden potential by creating self-awareness. So it's a partnership between coach and client where we explore how to tap into your own inner potential to come up with solutions that are unique to your own situations. Aside from coming up with those solutions, then saying, okay, now this is the solution. How do I make this solution a reality? And then again, the coach works with the coachee or the client to say, work together to say, how do I, with my unique talents and strengths and experiences, make this solution work? So it's a very tailored and personal approach to development. Because all of these things that I just spoke about, training, mentoring, consulting, coaching, they're all development, organizational development on that level, and personal development on that level. They play on both those levels. So coaching takes a very personal approach to it.
And capacitates the entrepreneur to problem solve essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the coaching solution is a sustainable one. And I say sustainable because if I can help create that capacity, that internal capacity within my client to start solving their own problems and to start creating their own opportunities, and to use their potential to its fullest, their strengths to their fullest, then future problems down the line, they tap into that resource and they're able to say, okay, this is the approach that I'm going to take. This is how I address it. So it's creating that internal capacity for sustainable solutions.
When does one go for a coach? Is it advisable to start with a coach before, as you launch into business as a new entrepreneur? Is it something that you wait for later, or do you call upon one when you need one, when you feel like I've got problems in my business, I need intervention?
Yeah. So it depends. Yeah. I think as entrepreneurs, there's so many stresses that you're faced with when starting up. I think.
Can we just take pause and just think about it?
Yeah. And there's so much to do.
Yeah.
You know, you're one person and you're thinking to yourself, gosh, I've got to do marketing, sales. There's that strategy, long-term view, finances. People, sales. There's so much to do. And there's a lot of stress that comes with that. And entrepreneurs, you're making decisions every day, if not every hour of the day. And when I say decisions, I mean even small decisions, like where do I have this meeting? Is it online? Is it in person? There's decisions. Yeah. I don't think I need to expand. Our entrepreneurs that are listening know what I'm talking about. You're making decisions all the time, and that adds to the stress. Also, adding to it is entrepreneurs are facing, challenges at the back of their mind. They're thinking about funding. Okay, how do I fund this? Oh yeah, I left my job with that secure, awesome telecommunications provider with that guaranteed. Yeah. So it's that leaving work. So there's all this stress, and so what the coaching relationship does is to help bring clarity to an entrepreneur.
Sure.
Yeah. In that coaching conversation or conversations, what we do is we focus on priorities. And so what coaching can help entrepreneurs with is to help determine your priorities, to create focus, create clarity, and help work with that stress. Coaching is great also as using a coach as a sounding board for your ideas, for your thoughts, to be able to come up with clarity as to, okay, I had that thought now, oh wow, at the end of the session, that's a fully fledged idea now that I can take and work with. And the coaching process, that's not just a conversation. So it's not just you and me chatting.
It's not just drinks.
No,
Let's grab some coffee and...
it's not that. So it's not the same as having a chit chat with your best friend about this. The coaching conversation has structure. Yeah, we are looking at what are your goals and your priorities. What do you want to achieve? Okay, we're exploring your resources. We're tapping into that internal potential in that session, and as part of that, we're working on the outcomes. What are we going to do about this? What are our action plans?
Yeah.
Actionable steps to take thereafter, and accountability that has to follow that for those action steps. So to answer your question again about when do you engage a coach, I would say that, again, it depends. If you're starting up your business, a coach, at that point, a coach can definitely provide that support structure to help you think through your ideas and to help you obtain clarity. Yeah. So you can create or help conceptualize your niche better or your service offering better. Yeah. As your business progresses, let's say, past its first 100 days, then your entrepreneur has new challenges. How do I keep this momentum going? How do I manage sales? How do I manage all these things that I have to do? And coaching helps with helping them to manage their time and their energy better, what to focus on, what to prioritize, and create action plans.
No problem.
For going forward. At that stage, I would say, we spoke about the different helping or support structures. I would say once you get into the swing of things, yeah, when you've gone past that first hurdle and you're going into your 100 days, it is key that you start having a strategy. Yeah, coaching can help you uncover that strategy to flesh out that strategy, you possibly do need,
Still there?
a professional to take you through that structured process, and that's where the consulting comes in. And so, in terms of my entrepreneurial journey, that's where I saw the niche, if you can call it that. So we can help you with conceptualizing your idea, you uniquely, and that's all you, internal capacity, conceptualizing, okay, yeah, this is my strategy, but now unpacking that strategy, assessing risks, that kind of thing. There, a consulting approach is needed, because there you need some structure, you need some best practice, you need someone who's been there, done that, take you through that. And so, in my own business, aside from offering the Founders Clinic, to help founders with, creating that strategy, looking at elevator pictures, that kind of stuff, and their go-to-market strategy, we also look at, stress testing risks. So we do offer, what can I call it? Not a solution, a service where we look at stress testing risks in your organization and coming up with risk mitigation strategies, so that you as an entrepreneur, you're aware of your risks there, yeah? And when you go into the market, you know how to play.
So we actually asked some entrepreneurs leading up to our conversation if they've got any questions for you. And one of the questions comes from Tabo, and he asks, should one have one coach for the entire business, or should I be looking for a coach depending on the area of business that I need coaching in? So I'm assuming he's saying, if I need a sales coach, do I get a sales coach? Do I get a personal development coach? Or do I just get an overall business coach?
Okay. So having gone through the differences between those personal development and organizational development professional services, I'm going to answer it from that perspective. The market, let's talk about sales coaching. The market, the general market in South Africa has a different view to sales coaching. If you had to look at it purely theoretically, and if I put my master's hat on, coaching is coaching. Whether you come to me for life coaching or business coaching or sales coaching, the methodology that the coach uses to elicit those answers and those solutions and to tap into your internal capacity, that technique is applicable across the board.
Okay, so that's universal.
That's universal. However, and again, this is in my experience of entrepreneurship and my own business, I've been finding with entrepreneurs especially, there is a need for sales coaching. And when engaging with that chemistry session with that entrepreneur, because prior to any coaching session, we have a bit of chemistry session to figure out whether we can work together and whether I can meet your requirements, yeah? I've been finding that what entrepreneurs actually want, yeah? They want some of that coaching, but they also want, I'm going to call it the sports coaching kind of approach that says, okay, to maximize sales, I need a sales strategy. And this is how I can play and use my strengths in the sales strategy. And so here, from our perspective, how we do it at Coachfluence, we use our coaching consulting methodology. And so I don't call it coaching or consulting. It's our sales immersion experience, where we take entrepreneurs through a bit of coaching as well as a bit of consulting to help them look at that sales strategy. Yeah, because sales strategy, especially, like I said, and this is just my experience in the market and with entrepreneurs, what they're actually wanting is, it's kind of, I want a bit of coaching, and it's a bit of consulting, and it's a bit of mentorship. It's that kind of like that question you asked me earlier on. I need a bit of everything to make it feel like a whole package, so that I can go out and I can win in the market. And so our business, we've taken that, and so we do have a sales coaching clinic and a sales coaching offering that has a bit of all of those elements, yeah, that you can then go out and win in the market. So yeah, I hope that answers your question, Tabo.
Well, he can always write back.
Yeah,
so
and Tabo,
that,
you're welcome to mail me. I'm sure.
And we'll share your details.
Yeah, you
as
can
well.
share my details. You're welcome to mail me. Check out the website, and yeah. So I hope that answers.
So as we start to sort of wrap our conversation, which by the way, thank you, has been very enlightening. right? Very insightful. I'm curious about your own business journey so far. Having started in 2018, correct?
2017.
2017, okay. And obviously we've all lived through this momentous time in human history, which is COVID-19. What are some of the lessons for you, especially as a business coach, that have come out of that experience for you?
Sure. I think it's the biggest learning is that you must be ready to evolve, and to continually evolve, You may go to the market with saying, "This is my great idea," and which I did. I went to the market and I wanted to do just coaching, Coaching's gonna fix the world's problems, and it has its place. I'm a coach through and through. I'm certified with the International Coach Federation. I have an accreditation. I have my master's. So I am a coach at heart. But there's a place for everything. And that was my realization. And to say, okay, Coachfluence, our core belief is that coaching needs to run through everything. But there are different points that people need assistance or help from a different angle. And there came in my consulting experience. So it's kind of like I evolved to say, now my offering has evolved and it's expanded. Yeah. So my biggest learning is don't be afraid to let that evolve, that idea evolve. And still stick with your core purpose and your core belief. My core belief is still people. Power to people. People can change and people can change the world. But the offering now I feel is more holistic. I think the other learning that I have during COVID-19 especially is that we all say COVID-19, and I think it's all about perspective. We can look at COVID-19 and say COVID-19 happened to us and oh, woe is me, okay? Or we can take a slightly different perspective and say, okay, it's here, okay? What have I learned? How have I evolved? How have I risen to the challenge? How have I used it to my advantage? And how I used it to my advantage is, and last year when we were in that heavy lockdown, I sat with my PC. I did some training courses. I did some research. I have my own coach, okay? I had some coaching sessions. I conceptualized my business a little bit more. I wouldn't say more because it's never complete. You're evolving all the time. But I was able to make it more rounded, to clarify my offering. So I used that COVID as an opportunity. To look internally.
Whether on a personal level or for the business.
Yeah. And for the business and to grow and to look for those opportunities in the market. So for me, it's all about the perspective you take. The perspective you take is key to anything that you do. And as an entrepreneur, be ready to evolve. Ask for help. Use your support structures. Okay. So that's.
Before you go though, you almost got away with this, but I caught you out. So, all our guests play this game, so we can't let you leave without doing this, right? I'm going to throw some words at you. Yeah. First thought that comes into mind, you throw it back at us.
Okay.
Right. Top 3 songs on my playlist.
Nirvana, Numb, Creed, I can't remember the song, and 3 Doors Down.
Okay.
I gave you artists, not the songs, but yeah.
Power meal, the meal I have when I'm thinking.
Power meal when I'm thinking. Coffee.
Oh, okay, cool. That's me too. I'm also on the coffee thing. Life is an amazing experience to be explored. Family is
my grounding and my foundation.
At my worst, I am
impatient.
At my best, I am
altruistic.
To be South African is
to be diverse, to be friendly, to be warm.
COVID was
challenging and transformational.
Love is That's an answer. Entrepreneurship is
not for the faint-hearted.
And lastly, when it's all said and done, this is how I want to be remembered. In a word.
Change the world.
Neshica, thank you so much for your time. It has been an absolute pleasure. I'm sure we'll have many chats again soon.
Thank you so much, KG. It was an awesome discussion.
See, no nerves, no need for nerves, right?
I'm so
I
nervous.
told
I'm
you.
good now.
And that's it, Platform 63. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Comment, share, like, and tell your friends to tell their friends.